We witnessed a mysterious chapter previously where the Iron Minotaur Seiko and her friends defeated turned out to be just a normal office guy, and he was ordered by the unknown orchestrator to steal their powers using the Kozuka knives. In addition, more hints are emerging for our friends about who is really behind all of this. Now that the next chapter just dropped, let's dive into it and find out what's in store for us. We continue the story in chapter 180, titled The Owner of the Kozuka Knives. Here, Koki came from her classroom, and as she left, she immediately noticed Sakata. The whole group was also there, pretending they weren't watching her so they don't gather attention. Koki stared at them, but she soon walked away. Sakata commented that movement has commenced, to which Momo called him a pervert and asked what happened during the last break. Using the nanoskin hairpin and glasses, Sakata observed Koki and her surroundings. He explained that Koki had already interacted with 3 teachers. However, he told them to stay calm because they had just set the bait. Momo then asked him which 3 teachers he was referring to. So, he said that one of them was Queen Sensei, and they apparently discussed everything that had happened recently. The other one was Miss Adachi, who was in charge of Class E, and they talked about classroom things. And the last person Koki spoke with was Mr. Sanjome, who ordered her to tell him what secret she had spotted. This caught Momo's attention, and she commented how suspicious it was, while Okarun added that if he recalled correctly, the teacher had also talked to him about the secrets he had spotted. Sakata told them not to be hasty, calling them amateurs. From the beginning, he said that Sanjome was strange, disappearing and appearing like a phantom, so they couldn't make good guesses if they remained stuck on preconceived notions. Additionally, he mentioned that the teacher hadn't said anything about knives or powers, so they had no evidence to conclude that he was the culprit. Suddenly, Ira approached him to take his glasses and check the footage herself because she didn't believe his conclusion, which made him lose his composure and become giddy because a beautiful girl was removing his glasses. When Ira removed the glasses, their shape started to change, which surprised her. Sakata took back his glasses and told Ira not to do that. He explained that they were made of nanoskin, so they changed appearance according to the mental images of the person holding them. This made Ira flustered and concerned. She said Sakata should have told her immediately because the glasses morphed into the shape of Okarun's, which made Momo sneer and made Okarun wonder if that really happened. Ira started throwing tantrums and cutely said not to think that this meant she always had Okarun on her mind, which made Momo even more jealous. Okarun commented that his glasses were right in front of Ira, so that might be why she visualized them, to which Ira embarrassedly shouted that she was really thinking what she was thinking. Okarun tried to calm Ira down by explaining that he knew it would give the wrong impression, but before he could finish explaining, Ira shouted again that it wasn't the wrong impression, which made Momo give her a side-eye. While this was happening, we moved to the hallway where the lockers were, and Miss Adachi encountered a male teacher. He asked if she went out, to which Miss Adachi agreed and explained that her mother wasn't feeling well earlier, but she was okay now. The male teacher showed sympathy towards her and said that if there was anything he could do to help, she should let him know, to which Miss Adachi thanked him for his concern, addressing him as Mr. Murakami. Mr. Murakami blushed at this and suddenly remembered that they were planning a basketball singles mixer, so he asked if Miss Adachi would like to join them to take her mind off things for a while. Miss Adachi responded that she was fine and that she wasn't an athlete, but Mr. Murakami insisted and told her not to worry because they were very laid back there. He was positive that she'd have a lot of fun there, so he told her to let him know if she changed her mind, to which Miss Adachi agreed. As Miss Adachi was walking away, Mr. Murakami added that they would really love it if she joined them. After Miss Adachi had left, her smile disappeared, and she immediately took out her phone. A text message was shown to us here, and it was identical to the text message received by the male office worker whom Seiko and others had spoken with, and Miss Adachi replied with "failed," and woman wasn't alone. Next, we were shown numerous Jiangshi following her, which seemed to indicate that Miss Adachi was the one controlling them in the previous battle. After that, we moved to the hallway where many students were chatting. Hase approached 2 girls here and brushed their hair to tease them and ask what they were doing, which irritated the girls. He teasingly asked why they were talking on their phones when they were face-to-face. So one girl responded by asking what business it was of his and told him to leave. Hase asked if they were hiding something from him and repeatedly pestered them to show him their phones, but they refused. However, Hase managed to peek at one of their phones, and he read that they were discussing how Okarun had been looking hot to them recently. Hase couldn't believe that these girls had a crush on Okarun, which shocked and irritated the girls when they realized he had read it. One girl told the other girl that they should separate for now, where Hase tried to stop one of them by grabbing her arm and arrogantly saying that couldn't they see he was just messing around. However, unexpectedly for Hase, the girl pulled her arm away and shouted at him not to touch her while calling him a creep. As the two girls walked away, Hase shouted at them that it wasn't funny while calling them skanks and that they were so lame. He also noticed that the other students who saw them were looking at him unfavorably, which irritated him and made him leave while saying that these plebs shouldn't look at him. Hase was furious and said he was so sick of Okarun. He saw Okarun outside, and his eyes flashed with anger. He said that ever since he lost to him, nothing's been going his way. He was irritably wondering how a twerp like him became better than him, and he said he wouldn't stand for it. He reached into his pocket and took out a Kozuka knife. While he was examining it, we were shown a flashback where he suddenly heard a voice asking if he wanted power while he was washing his face. This made him ask his companions if they had said anything, to which they just wondered what he was talking about. The voice spoke to him again and said that only he could hear him, which made him start to feel shocked and scared. The voice ordered him to listen and asked if he wanted to defeat a specific boy. This voice placed two Kozuka knives on top of where they had washed their faces earlier and told him to try hurting himself using the white blade, saying he would get special powers. The voice asked if he wanted to know why the person he was referring to was better than him, and pointed out that it was because he also had special powers. Hase shouted if the voice was referring to Okarun, and the voice said he was correct, and that was the reason why he was so unlucky now. The voice said that was so unfair and even frustrating to think about, also pointing out that he needs to take his power. The voice told him to use the black blade it showed, but to be careful, and when he used it, he should make sure to make him admit defeat first. If not, he wouldn't be able to steal his powers, so it pointed out again that he needed to make him admit defeat first. We returned to the present where Hase was staring at the blade he received, and he started thinking that maybe he was going crazy because why would he believe in such things? He decided here to try it to convince himself that this was all some kind of joke. He positioned the white Kozuka knife against his thumb, and soon after, he cut himself with it. However, it seemed like nothing happened to him after that. He just laughed at this and commented that he knew it wasn't real. He said that at first he believed it, and also wondered who could have thought of such an elaborate plan. He just called himself an idiot because he fell for it, but the cut he made on his fingers still hurt. Unexpectedly, he suddenly felt an eerie aura crawl to his body, and it turns out that the white Kozuka knife had worked on him when a creepy yokai appeared that looked like the yokai in Count Saint Germain's move called Jumping Crone. And there you have it. It looks like our protagonist has another new opponent, and not just any opponent but his bully. What kind of power could this new yokai possess? Let's find out in the next chapter.